Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, as it always is. Today we are going to talk about, as my list here states, what to pack in your carry-on for a transcontinental flight. This is whether you are moving or just going on a trip. These are things that are pretty standard. This is a very beginner's list of things. This doesn't take into consideration like if you need special paperwork or visas to get into the country. If you're bringing a pet or a small child, it doesn't cover any of that. This is very basic for if it's been a while since you've been on a flight, or maybe if it's your first time. So we're just going to start reading this. I don't really like these long introductions, but just let me tell you, I would love it if you like this video to go ahead and like the video for me, or leave me a comment, or if you like all the videos, go ahead and subscribe. I would just like to hear from you in one way or another. You choose. So that being said, I have this whole list here of things I just scribbled down as though I were making my own checklist for some sort of intercontinental flight. We're talking a flight that's going to be typically anywhere from 12 to 24 hours long, depending on where you go. This does include sometimes if you're going to be traveling for 24 hours, you'll probably have a layover or several. Maybe you'll be stuck in an airport someplace halfway between your beginning point and your destination. Or maybe it just takes that long to get from where you are to where you're going. I don't think there are any flights that are 24 hours long. I know that there are travel, like typically used travel routes that can be up to 24 hours long. I know because I know people who have had to endure them more than once. So in any case, on my list, the very first thing that you want to make sure you pack, it sounds ridiculous, but you need to pack lip balm and lotion. And I mean like hand lotion, but also like if you use a face lotion, you might want to pack that too. I say this because planes are dry. The air is dry, and if you're going to be in that environment for that long time, you're going to get dehydrated. You're going to need to drink water, but you're also going to need to protect and hydrate your skin, because otherwise it's going to be a very uncomfortable 12 to 24 hours. Trust me, I made this mistake. I have left these things at home or like packed them in my carry-on. You want to make sure that you've got at the very least a lip balm and a hand lotion to get you through. So it may seem trivial, but it's number one on my list for a reason, and it's always number one on my packing list no matter where I'm going, if I'm going on a flight someplace. Number two goes hand in hand with that. Take a reusable water bottle. You want to take a reusable water bottle because obviously you can't just buy water and take it with you, because they are just going to throw it out. TSA. They're going to toss it, but they're not going to toss your reusable water bottle. If you have water in it, they'll have you dump it out. So just take it empty, and then once you get through TSA, fill it up with water, and you can take it on your flight. It's a lot cheaper than $6 for a 20-ounce bottle of water at some little store where they're taking advantage of the fact that you can no longer bring in outside liquids other than like a few ounces. That was number two. Number three, it does also get cold in the air and in the airports. I really recommend that you bring a sweater and some socks. I believe further on the list is probably like blanket, etc., but we will get there when we get there. You do need a sweater, a nice cozy sweater. Nothing too tight, you know, for those of us who like to be fashionable. You don't want it to be too tight. You want it to be cozy, okay? Think like fleece lined. Same for the socks. It doesn't matter if they're fashionable, you want to survive. It gets very cold on these flights. So that's number whatever it was. You are also going to want to wear easy on and off shoes, something that maybe slips on and off. When I was flying back and forth all the time to and from the Middle East, what I would do is I would just wear flip-flops, to be quite honest. And then I would pack my socks, my fuzzy socks. I would take fuzzy socks in my carry-on, because what I would do is when you're going through the scanners and the TSA and everything, you're gonna take off your shoes. If you have socks on, they're gonna make you take those off anyway. It's disgusting, it is what it is. it's just faster and easier for everyone. So I would just do that, and then when I would get on the flight, then I would switch to the socks and just wear the socks for the flight. If you have a few layovers, and if you have a special circumstance where you're going to have to leave and then go through TSA again, you may want to bring a new pair of socks for each time, just because like floors are dirty, and then you can put your dirty ones in a Ziploc or whatever. So that's your socks, your sweater, and your easy on and off shoes. I also recommend that you dress in layers. This isn't really something that you pack, but it is something to take into consideration. If you are flying from a warm country to a cold country, or vice versa, you're going to want to dress in layers. You may look ridiculous getting on the plane in Tel Aviv and you're wearing like a parka, but if you're getting off the plane in Michigan, then it's winter, you're going to want that parka, and you're not going to want it packed away in your bag that it all of a sudden got lost when you were on your when you were transferring planes in Heathrow. You don't ever want to go through Heathrow. They will lose your bags. Like, there's actual statistics that they will more than likely lose your bags. Sorry, not sorry, Heathrow. Do better. Anyway, so you are going to want to dress in layers. You're going to want to make sure that you are dressed for where you are leaving, where you're going, anywhere you're going to be in between, and it all has to be layered. It's just easier than putting it in a carry-on. If you're putting it on your body, it doesn't count toward weight limit. So, also, you are going to want to bring fresh underwear. I know it's an awkward thing to talk about, but let's be real. If you're going to be on a flight or in any location for 24 hours, give or take, really you're going to find that you're probably going to want some clean underwear. Along with that, you might as well pack like a travel size baby wipe or hygiene wipe, whatever you prefer. Both work. It's better than nothing. When you're in that situation, you want to make yourself as comfortable as possible, and that includes feeling fresh and clean everywhere. So definitely pack some underwear, especially if you are someone who has a period. You are going to want to make sure that you have an extra pair of underwear as well as some supplies, because when you're in the air, it can mess with that. Even if you're like sure it's not going to happen, take some stuff just in case. You are also going to want, in that same vein of like bathroom stuff, you are going to want to take, if you wear contacts, you're going to want to take your contact case with liquid in it. Yes, that will have to go in your Ziploc bag. You're going to want a travel size of liquid for your contacts. You're going to want your glasses. You're going to want any prescriptions or medications that you need on a daily basis in your bag with you on your carry-on, not packed. If you have a liquid and it's medical, you can, it doesn't count toward the ounces. So if you need to bring some sort of special like liquid, medicine, or drink, or if you are bringing a small child and you have formula or breast milk for them in a bottle, they legally cannot throw that out. But you are going to want to make sure you get like notes from your doctors and everything, because people can be jerks, and you want to double and triple check on just the rules from where you're flying out of and where you're flying into, to just like triple check on that. The last time I checked, it was an international law. Last time I checked, which was a while ago, that if it's medical or if it's like food for a baby, that they can't take that away from you. So double check on it, but do check on it. That being said, yes, any medicine, any like I said, contact solution, any of that, you're going to want it, because remember, again, it does get dry. Eye drops, you want eye drops too, whether you use contacts or not. Moving on, you are going to want your paperwork. Do not check your paperwork. Keep your paperwork with you at all times. That includes your passport, your visas, if you had to get anything apostille for your entry into the country, proving that you're a decent person or you are who you say you are or whatever. If you're taking important documents because you're moving or because you're on a business trip or whatever, keep that on your person at all times. Keep that with you in your bag. Do not check it in your checked luggage. You will regret it. That also includes keeping some cash on you. Obviously, you're going to want to keep your wallet, your cards, your IDs, everything. Make sure that you've got cash on your person. And by that, I mean like on your body someplace. I'm not going to tell you where to put it. That's your business. But like, make sure that you've got a small amount of cash, at least for emergencies, on your body. That's just smart. Oh, where are you? Paperwork. Oh yes, and also make sure that you know what your country requires before you fly there in terms of paperwork to get into the country or when you start your life there, because the last thing that you want if you're moving is to show up in the country and they say, well, you needed to get this random paper that you've never heard of, and the only way to get it is to walk into some random place in the country you just left. So make sure that you double check on that before you move if you are flying to move. The next thing you're going to want to pack is entertainment. You want to pack reading material, and I do mean like hard copies of reading material. I mean, like, bring electronics if you want, but if you're going to be flying for a long period of time, now obviously bring your chargers, but there's no guarantee you're going to have the place or the time to charge something in between flights or on the flight. I think that these days some or most airplanes have a place for you to charge things, but I mean, like, there's no guarantee. So bring like actual books, actual magazines. Also, obviously, bring your phone, bring, you know, if you've got something to read on, or you want to bring your laptop. You're not going to have Wi-Fi, so whatever you're bringing, maybe like an MP3 player, which I know sounds funny because it's 2021, but an MP3 player means that you're using that energy and not the energy on your phone, which is wise. It's wise to use different things for different objects for different uses when you're traveling, and you may not be able to plug stuff in as much as you normally would. So that is on there. You might want to make a new playlist for your trip if it's fun, like a spring break sort of trip, right? Or a summer trip after COVID, right? You might want some music for that. If you're embarking on a new life, you might want a new playlist for that. That's something I like to do. It's a personal preference, but it's here on my list for a reason. So you might want to do that. Yes, also make sure that everything is fully charged before you go. And then obviously make sure you have your chargers you need, like I said, to make sure that you can amuse yourself for 12 to 24 hours approximately without Wi-Fi if need be. That's that one. You also, okay, this is where it gets more practical again. You are going to make sure, you're going to need to make sure that you have a neck pillow and a compact or small, but still decently sized for you, blanket. Those thin fleece ones are really good for this because they're, like I said, they're thin, they're easy to pack, like just roll it up and stick it in like an awkward corner of your bag, or even in like an outer pocket, you can roll it up like a Tootsie Roll and like stick it in there. And it will be fine for you to carry on, and then you can use that during the flight. You might also want to bring an eye mask because you will want to catch some sleep wherever you can and whenever you can. That might end up being a long layover, and they don't really turn out the lights very much in an airport, so you might want to have that on hand. Just something for just in case. You will also want to bring snacks. Now, I know this might seem controversial because a lot of people will say you can't bring food onto an airplane. I have never once in my life encountered that, and I've flown a lot of places, a lot of different airlines, a lot of different countries. I think where this gets confused is you need to be careful with, like, some places get picky about, like, say those little applesauce packets, for example. Or obviously you can't bring an outside drink on, right? But things like granola bars, jerky, dried fruit, sandwiches, I've never had a problem with any of those things. Any prepackaged stuff I haven't had a problem with. I can't imagine actually having a problem with like those little like fruit squeezies, but then I haven't traveled with a child on a transcontinental flight before, so I don't know about that. I never even bought those until I had a kid, so I can't tell you about those. But dry snacks, absolutely, you can bring those on, and I recommend it. Now, fruit, like fresh fruits and vegetables, if you were flying from one country to another, you will most likely need to consume it or throw it away once you arrive in your new country, and that just comes down to different agricultural laws within the country of destination, and that's up to them. I have seen people get stuff like that through, and I have seen people have that stuff confiscated. Also, if you were planning on buying a plant, just as like kind of in the same vein, you want to make sure that your plant you will not have to throw out when you get there to your destination, because it has to do with the microbes or whatever in the dirt. They may have laws depending on what country you're flying to and from on what you're allowed to bring in terms of agriculture and fruits and vegetables for consumption, and also houseplants can and do fall under those categories. So do definitely check those before you actually try and take something like that into your destination country. Let's see, snacks we already talked about. You do want to make sure that anything valuable that you are carrying with you, that you are taking with you, you carry in your carry-on, okay? And I mean like anything. And if you're moving, this is going to mean you're going to have a lot of stuff in your carry-on, and it's going to be heavy. Like, I'm talking jewelry, family heirlooms, again, documentation, you know, like birth certificates and so on. If you have anything that's like intrinsically valuable, if you have luxury items like a Chanel purse, like we have all heard about the Chanel purse that got stolen by TSA by a certain other YouTuber. So we want to make sure that we're not checking that stuff. We want to make sure that that stuff is actually going in our carry-on and staying with us throughout the entire process of the flight, because we really don't want that stuff taken. It does happen. They do rifle through bags. I don't want to paint anyone in a bad light, but it's definitely a thing that has happened to like multiple people I know. My stuff has been rifled through. Things have been broken on purpose. I don't know why that is, but I have heard from multiple people who I know personally and trust that like TSA will go through your things, and if they don't like you, they will break your things. It's wrong, but they get away with pretty much everything. So, long story short, or short story long, anything you want to protect, put it in your carry-on. And the last thing that I have on my list, we kind of already talked about a little bit, but I do want to talk about it a little bit more. So toiletries, makeup, anything like that, as much as you can, take in your carry-on bag. And also, while I'm at it, actually take a change of clothes that is appropriate to the country that you're visiting. You know, whatever the weather's going to be, if they have any restrictions on what you can wear, whatever. Make sure you've got one change of clothes in there, but also make sure that you've got your toothbrush, you've got a travel toothpaste, you've got your floss. If you have makeup that you use on a daily basis, put that in your carry-on. If the packaging is too big, put it into smaller packaging. Make sure you've got some for a week or two, because you don't know when your luggage is going to get lost. Or like, especially if you have things to do, if either for business or if you're going to be doing photo shoots or whatever, which I know sounds crazy and most people wouldn't, but if you are, because a lot of people do those things and that's why they fly, you want to make sure that you've got enough in your carry-on to get through in case of disaster, like if you're flying through Heathrow. So make sure you've got all of these things in your carry-on. I know that it sounds like a lot, but when it comes right down to it, you can fit all of this into a carry-on. And if you have a purse, you can fit it into your purse too. So I hope this list helped. Let me know. Let me know in the comments and give it a thumbs up, and I will bring more things like this to you later. Bye.